to today's video. Today's goal is I can multiply multi-digit numbers with decimals, so that's what we're going to learn how to do. We're going to apply an algorithm to decimals. In terms of our evidence, we're going to persevere through any stuck points that we have, and we're going to use our math reasoning to check to make sure our answer actually makes sense. What that means, we'll get to in a sec. Our learning experience in this video, we're going to do a mini lesson. You're going to do a you-do. There's a problem that I have for you. And I'm going to leave you with 3 suggested practice problems to try. You don't have to do them, but of course I would recommend doing them. It's good practice. And with that, we'll move on. So in this mini lesson, we're going to look at 2 different problems. The first one we're going to look at actually has nothing to do with multiplying decimals. It's just a normal multiplication problem, and we're just going to do it. So we have 121 times 35. It's a multi-digit problem. That's okay. We all know how to do those, hopefully. If you don't, we're going to go through piece by piece. So we're going to start with this 5. We're going to multiply each of the digits in 121 by 5. So first we'll do 5 times 1, which gives us a 5. We do 5 times 2, which gives us a 10, so we'll put the 0 there. We'll put the 1 up here. And then we have 5 times 1 again, but this time we have to add a 1. So we get 6. Next, we're going to move on to the next place value. That means that here we need to put a 0, since we're now on the tens. And we just repeat. We do 3 times 1, which is 3. 3 times 2, which is 6. 3 times 1 again, which is 3. And then we just have to add these together. So we have 5 plus 0, which is 5. 0 plus 3 is 3. 6 plus 6 is 12, so we're going to put the 2 here, carry the 1, and then 3 plus 1 is 4. So the solution to our 121 times 35 is 4,235. Now, when it comes to multiplying decimals, if you look at that problem, you'll notice it looks almost the same as the one we just did. The only difference is we have a decimal and another decimal in both of our numbers. And the first step when it comes to multiplying multi-digit decimals is to do the exact same thing that we just did. We're basically ignoring the decimal entirely to begin with, and we're just going to do the same thing. So again, we did 5 times 1, 5 times 2, and then 5 times 1 again. Put our 0 here. 3 times 1, 3 times 2, and then 3 times 1 again. So we have 3, 6, and 3. And then we add them together. We got 4,235. Now, this is where it gets a little bit different. Obviously, 1.21 and 121 are very, very different numbers. It doesn't make sense that if we multiplied something that's kind of close to 1 and something that's kind of close to either 3 or 4, whichever way you want to think about it, it doesn't make sense that such small numbers would give us such a big number. So that means we have to do one more step. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at how many place values we have after the decimal. So if we look at our decimal, we have a 2 and a 1 after the decimal. In the 3.5, we have just a 5. So we have 3 digits after the decimal. So if we imagine our decimal point is here, that means we're going to move our decimal point 3 spaces to the left. So our decimal is now going to be here. And if we rewrite our problem, or rewrite our solution rather, we're going to end up with 4.235. And that's all there is. The algorithm for this is you multiply the same way as you normally would, count how many digits you have after the decimal, and then move your decimal to the left that many times. If you're wondering why this works, it has to do with multiplying and dividing things by 10. We can get into that later, but for right now, this is what you need to know. Okay, so now that we know how to do this, I'm going to have you do a you-do. What you're going to do is you're going to find the area of this antique map. You're going to use the formula A is equal to L times W to find that area. A couple of hints for you here. The L stands for length, so this side, and the W stands for width, so this side. You'll also notice here that there is no multiplication sign. That's okay. In math, if we've got two letters, that means that we don't actually need a multiplication sign in between them. Give your best shot. Ready, go. So the important things to remember is that when multiplying multi-digit decimals, you start by multiplying like normal. Just multiply it as you usually would. If you use lattice, use that. If you use what I used, use that. It doesn't matter. After you've done so, move the decimal point to the left based on the number of digits after the decimal point, or points if both of your numbers have decimal points. I'm going to leave you with a couple of suggested practice problems. They're optional, but you should do them because they're good practice. There are 3 of them, so get them done.